Hello, Facebook, YouTube. The day of Michael the Archangel. God is our prayer. Michael the Archangel, the one who is likened unto God. Nope, not soul. God is a soul. Let's stop acknowledging false gods and goddesses on God's day. If you have a true relationship with God, you will not try to tell everybody that we're not supposed to be acknowledging false gods and goddesses on his days. All right, topic of the message. All right, it's October 15th. 15 is a very important number to God. 15 is the day. It's the 15th day when, Passover establishes on the 15th. You know what I'm saying? Passover lamb. 15 is a very important number. But I got to really talk about this situation. I got to get to the message because it's been burning in my heart like crazy. Well, I had a conversation with people at Starbucks based upon what's going on about the terrorist attacks, the attacks at Paris. You know, the thing is, to me, like I just got into talking to another person, that tax was talking about. I say we should be, if we want to know the truth, who's responsible for these attacks, we should be looking at the security. How did the security let these weapons, let guns? It's one thing you can sneak a bomb in, and there's another thing you can sneak guns in a place. Yeah, it doesn't make sense that guns snuck through there. You're going to a game, you will hardly don't bring anything. You might bring something to cheer on the team or something, or check a backpack of food or something like that. But guns doesn't make sense sneaking into a place called Paris. I think it's an inside job, but that's what say it's an inside job. Y'all know, of course, who I know who's responsible for the inside job. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, so the guys was like, they was blaming, they think it's, kind of leaning towards, it was the Syrian people that came from, came from Syria. They had to be forced to get out of their country. And more likely the ideal, and they were, taking their clothes, and let's not forget our our guns and the bomb making material, and let's go and journey and walk all the way to Paris, France, and make sure we keep this stuff in there, and let's go to this Paris event. How much money you probably had to get tickets to go to this Paris soccer game. Yeah, from journeying do they accept Syrian money to, pay your way into this game or something like that? Come on, y'all. Are y'all serious? Hey, there's one thing about September 11th. If you did not know, that was an inside. And there's another thing to not know, that this was totally an inside. But the people at my Starbucks was more likely saying, well, we shouldn't have let these refugees in this country. They shouldn't let those refugees come in there and do this and do that. And this one, kind of like hitting on that it will never happen unless you, let these refugees in there. So I'm like, my heart is like, ugh. I can't speak for my heart. My heart was like racing and beating, like within frustration of how these people are looking at the situation, because they're trying to make it so much that the Syrian refugees wanted to establish an attack, or what the media want to believe ISIS is in charge of it. I say it's a lie. I'll say that ISIS is in charge of it, but people that are under the rules of darkness of this world that are controlling ISIS is in charge of it. Now I believe that. I don't believe that is these Syrian people are responsible of this situation, but rules of darkness forces in them. But that's not really the message I want to get. I want to get that started, because here's the thing that God was talking to me about. Well, God told me about the topic of this message, talk about the reality of X-ray vision to see the story. Now, here's the thing about y'all people that operate in darkness. One thing you can't really see what's going on in the natural about the things that are happening around the world and happening to other people, and thinking that, that is people are the enemy and flesh and blood is the enemy, and you looking at, and you more likely, coming against people or speaking against people. And it's another thing that, you're not going to pretty much, like I just presented y'all this idea, research the situation to find out to true conclusion of what's really going on about things, The thing is, or more likely we call it, I call it discrimination, if those French police are trying to go investigate the Syrian refugees and trying to see how many sleeper cells that might be in there and stuff like that, I think that's the wrong investigation. You know what I'm saying? And you just seeing any Syrian person on the street walking around, you may think they got guns and whatever. It's kind of, let me see, what's that word called? What we black people get, discrimination. Yeah, you discriminate now every Syrian person. But guess what? And that's around Paris. But do you understand the story concerning that this person was a person that, that had to leave their country because of war and because of, of course, about Russia and going in there and Russia fighting ISIS, and they had to leave their country to go to another country. They had to. You know what I'm saying? If you don't have the X-ray vision concerning a person's heart to see that all of their belongings and all of the things that work hard for, they had to depart from, or you never experienced or went through what they went through. You don't know the story of half of what the people are going through in Syria and has been going on in Syria. You don't have the right to judge concerning what's going on about every person that's out there, concerning if you are part of the ideal of saying, oh, some terrorists are over here or some ISIS members can be over here. You're not trying to look at the story that this person, or not trying to read the story of an individual. You just looking at the outward appearance, something that men are so accustomed of doing, and looking at the outward appearance of the individual and not looking at inward of what's really going on. And you, of course, making up stories and allegations and arresting people that probably had zero to do with what's going on and stuff like that. But this is a terrible ideal of darkness that is happening, in this country. Like your glasses. This is what's going on in this country that is horrible, and it's a horrible that people are not having X-ray vision and not understand the story of an individual and finding out what kind of person that person is. It's, conversate, talk to people and find out what kind of person that people are, instead of, assuming that there's something this and there's something that, I'm having a serious problem with the situation that could be right now going on in Paris. But what's an epidemic that's going on around humanity, that is, we discriminating against people concerning their looks and concerning this, concerning that, but we're not trying to have no X-ray vision in our heart. And the thing is, I learned operating in the light of the love of Jesus Christ, that it's mandatory concerning if you have the love of God. It's mandatory, as what Jesus taught me in Matthew 13, about understanding within your heart to know and understand an individual person to where they're coming from. You know what I'm saying? You try to understand in your heart where a person is coming from is in order for you to find out what kind of person that person is. Instead of you trying to judge the outward appearance of them, you need to be about understanding an individual and researching why the kind of person that person is the person that they are is what people should be all about doing, and not all about this, looking at the book, the page of the book, but not trying to flip and open up the pages and see what the story goes beyond in that. It's what's going on with a lot of people that, that is to find out the truth and not settle for lies and operate in lies. What the system that, this world system love operating in, because God, Satan is running this system. He's the father of lies. Yeah, he runs. You can tell he's the father of lies because this system runs so much on lies, and how much lies get through television and everything else is ridiculous. And y'all know that. But the thing is, y'all love operating lies. No, it's time, if you want the truth, it's time for true, thorough investigation. That only understanding in your heart, asking questions why, and getting to know somebody genuinely, and not getting to know somebody to what you can get out of that person, lust, needs to stop. And the thing is, but it takes pretty much the light of Christ, the light of God, to start seeing in the heart of a person and seeing a story that that person came from, and trying to help this person's story to have a better ending, is what Jesus Christ's love is all about. If you have that love, you know what I'm saying? And that's what the topic of the message is. So I hope you get the X-ray vision of God's love to see in the heart of a person, to understand their story, to what bad situation that made them establish a bad outcome in their life, and try to establish a good outcome. Because how many know that Jesus Christ came to this world, that he started off that a bad situation of being brutalized, to come out with a good outcome, that we can have a good outcome in our lives through him and have a better life. All right, that's the message. I hope you got the understanding. To God be the glory, him forever and ever, in Jesus' name. Amen.